Hello students, in this video we are going to talk about a very important concept of physics, that is projectile motion. During the study, we will try to derive some formulas related to projectile motion like maximum height. During the derivation, we will see what are the steps involved, because steps are very necessary to solve the tough questions in JEE Mains, Advanced, NEET or some of the questions of board examinations. And the formula which will be derived will help you in solving the easy questions related to these examinations. So let's begin. We will begin with the basic definition and we will try to understand what is the practical application of projectile motion. Then we will move on to the derivation and formula part. So what is the basic definition of projectile motion? Whenever we stand on the ground and we throw something at a certain speed with a certain angle with the ground, it will take a path like this. This is the level ground. I am throwing a ball at a certain speed. It will go like this. This is the path taken by the ball. Why the ball is taking this path? Because gravity is pulling it downwards. At every point on the path, the gravity is trying to pull it down, which is changing its velocity vector. Every point the gravity is trying to pull it down towards Earth. So the gravity is playing a part here. Now, if you analyze this motion, you can see a body has traveled, a ball has traveled certain distance on x-axis and a certain distance up to a certain point on a y-axis. This is the point up to which the distance has been traveled on y-axis. So it is a two-dimensional motion. Body is taking two-dimensional motions. One along y-axis and another along x-axis. So the basic definition comes out to be, if you are throwing some ball or something with a certain speed at an angle theta on the ground, it will take two-dimensional motion due to the influence of the gravity. So this is the basic definition of projectile motion. The projectile motion is a two-dimensional motion due to the influence of the gravity. If you are thrown some object, some ball, something with a certain speed at a certain angle. Now, what is the practical application of this projectile motion? Suppose there is an enemy plane which is here at a certain instant of time. You want to hit this enemy plane with a surface to air missile. So, what coordinates you have been given to your team? You have been given the maximum height, or you can say h max, the point at which this plane is actually above the ground. So this you know. So you have to decide which speed and which angle at which your missile should be thrown to hit this target. So we will try to find the formula related to which can relate v, theta and h max. So this is the practical application of projectile motion. If you have ready-made formula, you can instantly decide if my enemy plane is at h max height, we can throw the missile with certain speed v and at a certain angle theta. So this is the practical application. Let's move on to the derivation part. To analyze this motion in mathematical terms, we have to split set motion. What is the meaning of splitting its motion? One motion it is taking along y-axis, other along x-axis. We will split it. We will see the whole motion along y-axis alone, and we will see x-axis motion along x-axis alone. So together independently we will analyze its motion. This is the first step of derivation, which can help you solve tough questions in JEE, NEET, your board exams. Okay. So if we analyze only y-axis motion, we will see this is the starting point at which your object ball has been thrown or your missile has been thrown, and it has reached a maximum height v. So this is your starting point at which you have thrown your projectile at an angle theta, and this is the maximum height it has achieved. Now after achieving the maximum height, it has again came down to the ground. This is C. You can take this point as C. Can anybody tell me what is the velocity of the body at this point in the vertical direction? Here the velocity of the body initially in the vertical direction is how much? if we take the component of v along y axis, we get v sin theta. Now, can anybody tell me what will be the velocity vector along y axis at v? Yes, 0, because the body is not going further up. It has exhausted all its velocity component. What is the reason for this reason of it becoming a 0 here? Because the gravity is exhausting or changing your velocity. Gravity is constantly acting downwards. That is why this velocity vector got exhausted here and it became 0. So gravity is acting downwards continuously. That is why your velocity vector becomes 0 here, and up to this point it will go up. After this it will not go up. So this is our point of interest. This is at a height of h max from your ground. This is the ground level x-axis. So you have to calculate this. Now we will write the y coordinate of this point. Y coordinate of this point is 0 because it is horizontal. Y coordinate of this point is h max. Now, if we are going to see the motion along y-axis only, what is the initial velocity? Or along y-axis, initial velocity along y-axis is v sin theta, and that too in the vertical direction. Up. Now, what is the final velocity along y-axis at b? Point of consideration is from A to B. We are only analyzing the motion. What is the final velocity? 0. What is the gravity? Gravity is acting downwards in y direction but in negative y side. So it is g but in downward direction. What is the vertical displacement the body taking? Can anybody tell me, students, from students, one of the students? Tell me the answer. Yes. The vertical displacement is h max. The body is taking, and what is the direction? Yes, upward direction. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me from students which equation can connect these four physical quantities? Why equation of motion? Why we can apply equation of motion here? Yes, because acceleration is constant for the motion. That is why we can apply equation of motion here. So, which equation of motion we can apply, students? Yes, we can apply third equation of motion, which tells us final velocity square, initial velocity square plus acceleration vector dot product of displacement vector. Putting the values of these physical quantities here, we will get our h max value. V is your final velocity, u is your initial velocity, acceleration is acceleration vector, and s is your displacement. Upward entities we will take it as positive, downward entities we will take it as negative. This is also we will take in the formula as positive. So after putting the values, we will get h max as p square sin square theta by 2g. So this is the formula which connects velocity of the body at which angle you must throw the body or the missile to hit your target, which is placed here. So the enemy plane was here. You can decide at which speed and angle you must throw to hit this enemy plane. So concluding this, we have seen the basic definition of projectile motion and what is the practical application of projectile motion.